I need to shoo my kitty cat away from my desk. Okay, so hi everybody. I am Professor Gentry, and this is going to be a Management Information Systems course. It is an introduction to a bunch of different topics. So what we're going to do is we're going to dabble a little bit into a lot of different things. It's been broken up into 14 different modules, and you'll see those in the syllabus and in the book. So hopefully you have the book. If not, please get in contact with me and I can get you some pages to review, at least until you're able to get the book for the first week. So I'd like to start out with just course information. This is just generic information when it comes to class. And then what we'll do is we will move on to the actual lecture for today. So we're going to start out with some class information, and we're going to look at the syllabus number 1. Hopefully you've already read it, but if not, we're going to look at it. We're going to talk a little bit about communication and how to communicate with me. And then finally, we're going to look at this new online proctoring that we got voluntold to do. So we're going to go a little bit through how to do those quizzes and what that's going to look like. So let's go ahead and start with the syllabus for this course. So the syllabus is located in the e-learning system under the course, under syllabus. But let's take a close look. We're kind of going to go page by page, and I'm just going to give you the highlights of what I feel is important when it comes to the syllabus. First of all, up at the top, we have information about me. Right there is my information, my office location, my link to schedule an appointment with me, my office phone number, and my email. So out of most of this over here, that is probably the most important, is how to get in contact with me. But we are going to go a little bit more into that in just a second. So again, this course is divided into, we're going to looking down here. We're dividing into 14 different modules. All the materials are going to be offered and collected electronically. We will not be doing any paper for this. So let's go on to page 2. Now, the biggest thing on page 2 is, of course, the textbook. Okay, the objectives, these are the things that we're going to talk about. Here are the 14 different topics, one for each of the modules that we're going to discuss throughout this course. But the really, really big thing that we're going to, and I just hid my face. Hi. The big thing that we're going to discuss is the book. So this is what the book looks like. And again, please make sure you do get the book. We do I rely heavily on the book. Some of your assignments are going to be out of the book. So it is actually a very good resource. There we go. So next we've got a list of assignments. I'm going to go through all of the different types of assignments and give you a little bit of information about each one of them. But this in a nutshell is what we have and what is due each week. Oh, look at that. I have a month of 56. Oh, look, and there's a month of 35 and 25. Wow. I didn't do these very well, did I? That's okay. Here's an overall course schedule for this first session of summer. And then down here, we have kind of the distribution of how the grades are going to be calculated and what they're going to look like. So first of all, we have a participation grade. This course is going to be offered synchronous and asynchronous. I had no one tell me that they wanted to attend in person. So I went ahead and just said, okay, we're not going to do any in-person courses. Sessions during this course. So if you are synchronous, you will get your participation based on your attendance and being online synchronously. If you are asynchronous, you will be watching all of the videos through something called Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle, you can either access through edpuzzle.com or through the video links, which look very similar to this in your My Carolina U course page. This is just an introduction video that I had done the first time I taught this course, but you can see here it says Edpuzzle, And if you would like to watch it, you click on the bar down here that says get started. That is going to then ask you to log into Edpuzzle. Now, the way we're going to log on to Edpuzzle is down here at the bottom, we're going to click Google. What we're going to do is we're going to log in with our school information when we choose Google. Then it's going to take us back. Here's our course and our class code if you use edpuzzle.com. You're going to need that class code to join the course. And then once you join the course, all of the videos will show up under your login. The first one we have right now is a pre-course overview. There were some questions up there, and you'll hit the play button here. There are some questions that it's going to stop the video and ask for some questions, and over here, all the way on the, guess I could do my other hand, huh? All the way on the right-hand side, it's going to tell you what kind of questions. There's multiple choice and open-ended questions, but it will stop the video and ask you some questions and ask you for your input. That's how we're going to get your participation grade if you are asynchronous. The next, we have something called a case study. This is going to be our group discussion opportunity. With it being in the summer, it is going to be a little difficult for between synchronous and asynchronous. I understand that. So I have modified this assignment to be either individual or a max of 4 people. Okay, so you can find 3 other friends if you know people in the course. If not, I actually put in the forum of the course up in e-learning a discussion post saying I'm looking for group members. What I would do is I would put name, which case study, which week it is, and which case study you choose. And by which case study do you choose, I mean there are 2 case studies available for each class. Okay, you choose whichever of the 2 case studies interests you the most. You're going to read through the case study, and then each case study has 3 questions at the end. Okay, those 3 questions are going to be your group discussion questions or your individual questions that you will have to read through and answer. Now, what am I going to hand in? What you're going to do is you're going to submit preferably a PowerPoint presentation. Your PowerPoint presentation is going to have 5 slides in total. Okay, the first slide is going to be like a title page with all of your group member names on it, so I know who all participated. The second is just a very short summary in your group's own words. Okay, and then slides 3 to 5 are going to be those 3 questions, questions 1, 2, and 3. Now, to make these case studies a little bit easier on you or your group, under resources in your e-learning, there is a link to a template if you and your group would like to use this. So that template is a Google Doc, it's a Google slide, maybe? I think Google calls it slides. It's a Google slide, and all you'll have to do is do a save as, and you can save it locally to yours, and then you can update anything in italics that needs to be updated. These case studies are due Wednesdays and Fridays by noon, okay? If for any reason your group or as an individual you need more time due to job, family, I don't really care why. If you need more time, contact me before the due date. I am very flexible with due dates, but you have to let me know, okay? I do have due dates in there just so that people with missing work can have zeros added and their grade is most reflective of where they stand. But if you do have an extenuating circumstance, or if you're just running out of time in life, which happens, please shoot me an email. And when I say shoot me an email, I mean communicate with me in some way, and we're going to talk about communication in just a minute. So our case studies are going to look very similar to this. This is an example case study of one of the 2 that are available for Module 1, which is what we're going to look at today. So this one, there is a little blurb kind of discussing what is going on, what the issue is. And then down here at the bottom, you can see these 3 questions that are going to be the 3 questions that will be in your PowerPoint presentation. So when I say it's a case study and you have to read through it, it's not pages and pages. It's about a quarter of a page. because the entire case study is about a half a page, right? So it's about a quarter of a page to read, and they're usually two very different topics. So the two topics for today, we've got this FedEx Technologies, which is kind of interesting. And then the second one is actually mobile shopping, which I find very interesting as well. So it'll be a very interesting combination to see who chooses what. And again, you only have to pick one of the two. It doesn't matter which one. Next, you have an assignment called a Use It assignment. It is in e-learning. The Use It assignments are due by Sunday. They are just a read through of a scenario with some questions after it, applying what we talked about and discussed in class. They're not timed. These are individual assignments as opposed to the group assignment. E-learning is set up currently to allow you to redo the assignment as many times as you would like if you do not like your grade, okay? And it will take the highest grade that you achieved. So if you do it the first time and you realize that you just weren't as prepared as you thought you were, you can go ahead and do the like it and take it again for a second time or even a third, and whichever is the highest grade, that is what we'll be taking for your grade. I just keep monitoring the chat. So if anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and put them in chat. I am trying to keep like half an eye on my chat window. Next, we've got something called MIS for Life. Now, this is going to be a much larger assignment. We're only doing 3 of these for the entire term, okay? We've got on weeks 2, 4, and 7. These are also going to be due Sunday by midnight. So the 3 of them are going to be on 3 different topics. The very first one is going to be on IT security. The second one is on navigating the digital world. And the third one is on latest computing innovations. So when we talk about each of these, we're going to find I know the last 2 are podcasts. I believe the first one is an article online, and you're going to write a short summary of what you learned. Word, Google Doc, it's perfect. Okay, just kind of summarize what you learned. And again, they are topic based, so make sure you stay on topic, but it does give a few resources of like where to find things. The second and the third one are 2 specific IT podcasts that it has you go into and choose one of a topic of your liking. So you're going to listen to that podcast, and then what you're going to do is summarize kind of what you've learned from listening to that podcast. Don't panic about this. This is not a panic. It is not an APA paper. This is a summary, a quick summary. Okay, so please don't try and do more than really what you have to. Going back to the syllabus, these are just assessments. This is how you line up those, of course, learning objectives with what assignments you have, and there's the grading scale. Now, I will say, so here there's information from here on down. It's pretty much the canned information that's on all the syllabus at Carolina University. Typically, if you try to contact me by phone or email, you'll get a response within 24 hours. Grading is usually done within 3 days for most assignments. Now, if you and I come to an agreement about moving a due date for you as a student, I will attempt to stay within those 3 days, but I can only guarantee that it'll be within 3 days of the original due date. So I apologize for that. I'm hoping to get interactive feedback regardless of what the assignment is for you. But I find most of the time with these introduction type courses that there's really not a lot of feedback to give. It's pretty cut and dry, and it's pretty much, you know, A or B. These are my 10 tips for success. You can read through them. My favorite is number 10. If you are having any kind of questions, comments, concerns, come to me as soon as possible. We'll work through it, not a problem. Please don't wait until it's too late, and do not email me the day that the class is over. Okay, I don't read email on the very last day of class. Sorry. And there's a reason. Email and electronic communication, there's just some information regarding how to communicate. Attendance policy, we kind of already talked about that when we talked about the participation grades. Academic integrity and misconduct, This is going to be important in this course because we are piloting the online proctoring for the rest of the university. So we'll talk about that in just a second. And finally, accommodations for students with disabilities. If you require any accommodations, you know how to already communicate that with me. That's really all there is to the syllabus. I find it's very helpful to kind of go over, it very quickly as a whole. You can sit down and read it. If you have insomnia, even better. So communications, how do we communicate with me? There's three big ways other than my office and my office phone. Typically for the summer, a lot of professors are not on campus. I'm only there rarely. I don't really even have a set schedule for being on campus right now. So these three are probably better to get a hold of me than showing up at my office. You can call my office and leave a voicemail. I do get those immediately into my email. So I will try to give you a shout out back. The first way though to get a hold of me, and probably one of the best ways, is to schedule a meeting with me. I use something called Calendly, and the link is right there as well as on top of the syllabus. What you will see is you'll see a window like the one on the top, and it'll allow you to choose either a Zoom meeting or an in-person meeting. And I believe I have a 15-minute on campus, 30-minute on campus, or a 1-hour Zoom meeting. So you choose what type of meeting you would like, and then what it'll do is it'll bring up my schedule for the next 2 weeks. You can choose which day you would like, and it will show you all of the times that I'm available. That's the easiest way, is to just go ahead and schedule a time. I find there's a lot of back and forth when we try to do emails, or if you have like a long conversation. So this is going to be set to when I am able to meet. So just go ahead and mark it on your calendar and get an example. So here's what it looks like with the 3 different meeting types that I have right now. And then again, it'll bring up the calendar, and you can set your time zone if you are not on Eastern time zone, and then you choose a date. And I believe typically I have 2 weeks posted at one time, and then I kind of go in and look at it. The second way to contact me, as with everyone, is email, and apparently I didn't write anything, so yay me. It's all good. Okay. So is email. My email address is on the syllabus as well. It is gentryj_1 at Carolina U. That's the email that I have for Carolina University, and I check it probably more than I should. The last way is to use the Remind app. Again, this is an app that's actually kind of cool on your phone. It's very similar to WhatsApp if you've ever used WhatsApp. The biggest difference between WhatsApp and Remind is that Remind does not display your phone number to anybody else in your group. So it's a little bit more incognito, if you want to call it that. So it is available for both Google on the top and Apple on the bottom. I am using the Apple one, so if you have any questions about that, I can help with the Apple. Not sure I can help with the Google Play, but I can sure try. The other way you can use Remind is on the web. You can go to remind.com. Our class is at MIS-CU for Carolina University. That will get you signed up to our course in the Remind app. So what you're going to do, when you go into the Remind app, what you're going to do is it's going to ask you how to log in. You're going to, again, want to log in using Google. Use your school email and password, whatever it is used to log into your Gmail account. And that's how you're going to go ahead and register for Remind. Again, it's a text app service, so you're going to get all the announcements that I do pushed directly to your phone. You'll get a little notification bubble next to the app icon telling you that there's a new message. You can also do a one-on-one message with me. You can message the whole class as a group. So that's actually a fairly new thing that we're trying out. I love it. I've used it with as a parent actually, but I haven't used it as a teacher. So we'll see how this works. I think it'll be fine. Quizzes. Okay, so we're using something called Proctor Track. This is new. We've been testing it over the past couple months. We are the first class for it to be implemented in. So It could be good, bad, or ugly. I'm not sure. We'll find out. It's a small download that's going to come to your computer. It's going to check and see what's running on your machine. I don't know if anyone's used any kind of online proctoring before, but you're going to look for, it's going to look for anything running on your machine. It's not going to allow you to go to places like Google to Google answers for quizzes. It's going to be, you're going to have your webcam on, so it's going to see what you're doing. The way that we're going to do it is you're going to have to take your quizzes through the link over here that says quizzes and tests. See, it says coursework, actually it says course information overview, newses, that's not a word, news and announcements, coursework, and then quizzes and tests. We're going to take our quizzes through the quizzes and tests. It's just going to be a little bit different than what we're used to. We're not going to be able to click through coursework. If you click through coursework, it's going to ask for a password that you're not going to have. Okay, so just so that you know. Now, in order to use ProctorTrack, is that you have to do the onboarding quiz. Everybody right now in our class has the onboarding quiz available. I know I saw Sam's come through. Let me see if I can look on my end and see if I have, I don't think I saw Kenneth. I don't think I saw, let me see, view sessions. All sessions. Let's see, Sam's went through. Nick, I have yours. Thumbs up on that. Like I said, Sam, I have yours. I don't have yours, Kenneth, so make sure you go ahead and do that. Now, the one thing with the onboarding quiz is that you must do it at least 48 hours before you take any quiz, okay? It will take at most 48 hours for it to process through the ProctorTrack system. Now, that being said, once you do the onboarding quiz, you never have to do that again. That's the one time that you have to do it. So you're going to do it this one time, and then from here on out, when you take a quiz, you don't need to do that again. So that's great. But you are going to have to go ahead and do that onboarding quiz before you take a test. And like I said, 48 hours at least. Let's look at some screenshots. What it's going to do is it's going to, this is what, when you click on that quizzes and tests on that side menu bar, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to give you all of your quizzes down here at the bottom. And it's going to say onboarding, and it's going to say quiz 1, 2, it's going to have some dates, and it's going to have a status. If the status is green, it means it's been completed. And otherwise, if there's nothing there, you can go over here and click go to test. Okay. Once you click on go to test, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of instructions and how it works and what's allowed and what's not. So typically for my quizzes, I allow open book, open notes, closed Google. So it is going to allow you to use electronic books. It's going to allow you to use a paper book, and it's going to allow you to use notes. I do want anyone that's having any problems accessing anything you need to please contact me, because again, we're learning this together. So I allowed websites and things that I thought you might be using. If you're using something else, just let me know and I can allow it for you guys. At the very bottom, you're going to scroll all the way down. At the very bottom, it's going to say, I have read and understand and will adhere to the requirement environment guidelines. There are things like, are multiple monitors allowed? Is printing, calculators, copy and paste, things of that nature. Once you click the I have read and understand, you're going to click go to next step. What it's going to do is it's going to start a download of the little ProctorTrack software that runs on your machine, and you can go ahead and get it installed. Every time you take a test now, you're going to see this big black box. It's going to be an agreement policy. What you're going to do is you should see my name as a professor down here at the bottom. You're going to click that you confirm your consent and agreement, and then you're going to click Start System Check. What that's going to do is it's going to run through everything running on your system. It's probably going to tell you to close some things. It always tells me to close some things, so it'll probably always tell you to close some things. But things you do are it is gonna ask which webcam you're using and which microphone that you're using. And it's going to go through a few different steps and do some analysis of your system to make sure that it's ready. Things like Zoom cannot be open, things like Teams cannot be open. I'm trying to think of Google Sync is usually one that usually always gets me. Every time I run it, it tells me to close my Google Sync and my Dropbox. So there are some things that it's not going to really like as you go through it. So some tips. Your onboarding is we're going to. Hi, dude. I know. Good evening. Sorry. Your onboarding is going to require an ID scan. You don't need to do a driver's license. You can do a school ID. You can do a work ID. Something with a picture. It has to be a picture ID. But just know that anything that you upload as far as ID goes is blurred to me. I don't see any of your personal information. Once it is verified that it is you, everything gets blurred out and you can't see your personal information. If you have multiple monitors, I'm not sure if you do, because I do. If you have multiple monitors, everything must be running on your primary. On a PC, you right click and go to display and set as primary. Your Chrome and your Proctor Track need to be running on the primary monitor. It will actually black out the other monitors that you have on and in use, and it will not allow you to move anything from a blacked out window to the current window that's open. So it will black everything out. So make sure you have your Chrome and your e-textbook and whatever internet your browser you're using on your primary. If you're using an e-textbook, please let me know where you're using it from. I currently have Cengage and VitalSource both as allowed through Proctor Track. If for some reason you have a different application to read an e-textbook or a different website that you're reading an e-textbook on, let me know ahead of time so that I can go ahead and put it in the allow list so that you can have it for your quiz. I do want you to have your textbook for your quiz. Let me see what else I have. All quizzes are open book, open notes, closed Google. Any issues, email me as soon as possible. We are the first class to go ahead and use it as a full class, so we're all learning. If you have any problems, you can email myself directly. Terrell Gilly is also another great resource, but do not email the Carolina U IT help desk, okay? They're really not going to have the answers that you're going to need. Another resource is proctortrack.com. They have a chat. I actually spoke with them today. They are aware that we have two quizzes this week to take in Proctor Track, and they are ready for your questions if you have any about getting started and get going. So one more thing about quizzes that have less to do with Proctor Track and more to do with taking quizzes. Your quizzes, you do have unlimited times to take a quiz, okay? You can take a quiz as many times as you like. It will average the scores of however many times you take it though, okay? So, say you get an 80 and a 20, you'll end up with a 50, okay? So but you can take as many times as you want. But again, it's going to average the different scores. So I believe that's about all I had as far as class information went. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that?